Hello, my name is Ron Belak, and today we're going to tie a soft-hackle fly. We're going to tie what's probably the oldest fly, which is the Partridge Orange. At least it's the oldest documented fly. And you'll need a few different materials to tie this fly. First of all, you'll need some good partridge feathers, and I suggest that you actually get a full partridge skin like this. It'll only set you back about $25 or so. It's pretty inexpensive for feathers. And you'll also have to get some new tying thread. I certainly recommend Purcell's Gossamer tying silk, which is made in England. It's a lot easier to tie these particular soft hackles. So I'm going to start with a size 12 hook. These can be tied in size 12 through 14. This particular hook here is a dry fly hook. You can also tie them on a nymph hook. They also make special hooks for tying soft hackle flies too. So I'm going to start by attaching the thread here near the eye. We'll cut off the excess. Wrap this around, and then we're going to do something a little bit different in tying this soft hackle. We're going to follow the technique that was invented by Dave Hughes. We're going to select a feather over here from the partridge skin, and for this particular feather I'm going to take all of this downy material off the shank here and then just strip it off and get right to the good feather fibers. Even maybe get a few of those fibers off. And then I'm going to take this feather and orient it along the shank with the concave portion of the feather here towards me. And this is going to allow us to actually tie this such that the feathers actually go backwards. You want these things going backwards. So I'm tying this shank here around the hook, shank of the feather that is, around the shank of the hook. We're going to do nice overlapping type turns on here. Now most soft hackles are only tied to the bend of the hook, you can see here. And I will cut this off, but that's really a matter of personal preference. A lot of times I fish these in still water, even though they're meant to be fished as emergers in moving water. And I like to tie this with a little longer body, and I'll actually go back to the point where if this was a dry fly you would put in the tail. And then you do another layer coming back. Do tight wraps here so you have a double layer over the shank of the hook, but it's still a very, very thin body on here. I'll come to about 1/16 of an inch or so to where I tied that feather in. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flare out the fibers here on this particular feather. So we got them flared out. Then I'm going to take a pair of hackle pliers, and I like to use rubber tipped hackle pliers here because they grab the feather a little bit better. And then I am going to twist this away from me and towards the shank, or towards the bend of the hook. And a lot of times you only do maybe 2 or so turns. I'm going to do maybe 3 because I like a little bushier fly. And then I'm going to tie this off. And so all these turns are made in this 1/16 of an inch or so. If you get a little strays here, you can just cut them off. And see, you can see how all these fibers actually bend backwards, so when you pull it through or strip it, you're going to go against the current or against the way that you're stripping. And what is really nice about Dave Hughes' method here of tying this soft hackle is you can reinforce this fly now with the Gossamer's silk thread. And what you do is you wrap this silk thread through the hackle fibers maybe 3 or 4 times, and then you can tie it off at the eye. And here I will use the whip finish. I will tie that off maybe a couple of times, maybe even 3 times on this fly. And the reason that I do that is that I am going to use no head cement on this. And I use no head cement for a reason. And the reason I don't use head cement is because it mucks up these fibers over here. And there you have the Partridge and Orange. Very easy tie. In order to get more information on tying and how to fish soft hackles, I'd recommend that you see my article entitled Spiders of the North, which is in the July-August 2013 issue of Colorado Outdoors. Thank you for watching me tie today.